What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Nate Trades. Today is day number 20 of documenting my journey to becoming a consistently profitable day trader. Today is Friday, August 7th, 2026. I'm going to be going over the one trade I ended up taking, what went right, what went wrong, why I actually was not confident in it, and I was fully prepared to say I should not have taken this trade. But yeah, first let's get right into market bias. On the daily time frame, you can see we're in a big bullish uptrend, and we just retraced into this daily fair value gap, and we're moving higher. On the 4-hour time frame, we are a little bit conflicted here. At market open, you can see we're expecting 4-hour bullish here, but then we went up into this 4-hour bearish, and we did put in a pretty big wick. And so I was looking for a rebalance move lower and then a continuation higher. All right, this is the 15-minute time frame. You can see that there's not really a big point for us to look for a continuation from. I was leaning very bullish, and so I was hoping for a move down lower to this data wick from the 7:30 news candle here, which was relative equal lows with a 4-hour that would be created at 9 a.m. So that was my ideal setup, was to see a move lower before a move higher. On the gamma exposure side of things, here at market open, I took these screenshots right before market open, but you can see that we're in a positive gamma environment, and we had the biggest gamma levels higher. So this is QQQ, this is SPY. On SPY at the 775 level, we have a billion, which is the biggest node. And then here on QQQ, our biggest one is here at 725. So for that reason, leaning extremely bullish. All right, before I go right into the first trade, this was actually a very good pattern trade that I faded, but let me quick explain it and then explain why I faded it. So you can see we're just consolidating here. We have relative equal lows below, but we are pretty bullish. So we made a move up. We're sitting in a 15-minute bearish fair value gap right here, as well as a 15-minute bullish. So with relative equal lows being a very clean draw on liquidity, and us clearly not sweeping lows, just creating trendline liquidity here, remanipulated the high with a big wick and then immediately displaced down. So this would have been a good pattern trade. However, all the gamma was above, there was no gamma below. It was practically blank. And so therefore I didn't even consider looking for that, because every time I take a trade without gamma, I always lose. Now this one, however, would have played out towards the relative equal lows here at the 4-hour. But yeah, that's just a side note. All right, going right into the first trade, we moved down to this 4-hour for value gap and immediately reversed. We got really clean rejection up, and then we just displaced higher. Then we retraced down into this 5-minute for value gap and then got immediate displacement higher out of it. So that was how it looked. So A plus structure, yes. A plus displacement, yes. You can see this is clean displacement here. A plus draws on liquidity, kind of. We had put in a bearish SMT with ES here sweeping out the overall high, but I still really like the draws, so I wouldn't say it's A plus, I'd say it's A. Gamma, bad. Honestly, gamma wasn't great for this trade, and I should not have taken it. Complete transparency, after I took this trade, I walked away from my desk and I was like, shoot, I should not have taken that. The gamma really wasn't good on it. So why was the gamma not good on it? So right here where we were sitting, here is what the gamma looked like right going into the trade. So here's the gamma for the trade setup. We're trading at the 720, which is 385 million, and then the next biggest one is the 725, which is not much bigger, and we're currently just sitting at it. So that was a perfect place for us to just chop around, because positive gamma is very sticky environment, is what I've noticed. And you can see lower, we don't really have anything, but above we do. On here on SPY, on ES, you can see that we do have some lower, and we have a very big one higher. That is what I based my trade off of. ES, SPY, gamma levels, not NQ. So what were we doing? We literally hit the 720 gamma strike. So if we had a clear, obvious one a lot higher, like we did have the 722, it wasn't as big, but if we'd had like a very big and obvious one, this would have been a good trade on the gamma side of things. It wasn't. So the reason I took this was because when we were trading up here, we were clearly displacing higher. I was literally telling myself I just wanted to see a retracement down to the 720 gamma strike and use that as potential support to take us higher. So that's why I took the trade, but the gamma target wasn't there. So here's how it ended up playing out. It almost stopped me out right here, and then we did just end up running. Once we got here, I just went break even, just because we were just chopping. The volume just died down, it looked like, and because the gamma wasn't really shifting a lot to the higher side. It wasn't growing that much, and so I wasn't really like, whoa, we're definitely going up here. It was like, okay, we traded away from the 720 gamma strike. We might just trade right back to it and continue chopping. So anyways, that's what I did. I went break even there, and then we did end up running full TP up here at the New York AM high. So that is the trade that I ended up taking. Should I have taken the trade? Hindsight, I'd say no. Something I'm learning, however, is that there's been a lot of trade potential setups this week. If you notice, I only posted 2 trade recaps. That's because I really didn't get any super clean, super clear A+ trade setups this week. But what I'm realizing, and maybe a note that I can take away from this trade, is that, yeah, we do sometimes just use these gamma levels as support and resistance and not just targets. And that SPY does affect NQ. SPY affects QQQ as ES affects NQ. And so with SPY having the big gamma level as the target, we can assume that NQ is also going to generally move up. So yeah, anyways, that is the trade setup that I took for the day. I'm not super proud of it, but it was a winner. And that is it from today's trading recap. If you want to follow along with my journey, hit the subscribe button below. You can also follow me on Instagram as well, at natetrades.official. I post daily Bible verses as well as my daily bias going into each morning. And with that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend, a great Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and let's get right into it Monday next week. With that, peace out, boys.